Muscular system. Our muscles have many functions in the body. One example is it helps us move. The muscles will attach over a joint. When the muscles contract, they pull on a tendon which is connected to the muscle and the bone. The bone will then move as it's like a lever. Another function is it helps us with respiration. Our intercostal muscles and diaphragm will contract and increase and decrease the volume inside of our lungs and ribs. This will help force any air out of our lungs, which is called exhaling. The neurons cause the contraction, and when the impulse stops, our intercostal muscles will relax. Another function is our heart will contract during systole and diastole phases. This will help force blood in and out of the heart. This will help by pumping oxygen around the body, which will then go to muscles and help them work as it's an energy source. Another function is it will help constrict and increase the volume inside of our blood vessels. These two phases will help increase and decrease the volume that can pass through of our vessels at any given point. This is called vasoconstriction and vasodilation. Vasoconstriction will decrease the diameter of blood vessels, therefore decreasing the blood flow. This would happen to parts of the body like the digestive system. This will be because it's currently inactive when during activities. Vasodilation will help increase the volume of blood that can flow through the vessels at one given point, therefore increasing the diameter of the blood vessels. This will happen to muscles that are in use. For example, a sprinter, this would happen in their legs, as their legs require more energy from oxygen. Another function is thermoregulation, also known as heat production. This would happen when the body shivers. This is a way of the body helping regulate temperature. It's a response for us being cold, and it helps us warm up by increasing the amount of kinetic energy produced. The final function is it helps with our posture. The muscles help stabilize us and keep us up. This is due to partial contractions of muscles that will keep us up and in shape. There are 4 characteristics of muscles. One of them is that they are excitable. This is their ability to respond to a stimulus, also known as a nerve impulse. This is as the muscles need to respond to the chemical messenger sent via neurons. This is from the brain to the muscles, also known as the nervous system. Another characteristic is that they need to be able to contract. This means they can shorten and lengthen at any needed time. There are 3 types of muscle contractions: concentric, eccentric, and isometric. These all have different functions when our muscles contract. Another characteristic is their extensibility. This is their ability to stretch beyond the resting length and help increase the amount of movement our muscles can provide. This is why we would warm up in sport, as it increases the length that our muscles can extend. The final characteristic is elasticity. This is the ability to rebound back to its original length after a contraction. This will help as when we are no longer taking part in sport, we don't want our muscles to be stretched out. There are 3 types of muscle tissues in the body: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles are mainly attached to bones, and they are the primary movement in the body. Smooth muscles are found in the tubes of the body, and these help with vasoconstriction and vasodilation. Finally, cardiac muscles are found in the wall of the heart. The main function of skeletal muscles is to help with movement, as they pull on tendons which pull on bones. The main function of smooth muscles is to help increase and decrease the blood flow which is supplied to certain areas of the body during activity. However, this differs to the cardiac muscles, as Their main function is to help pump blood around the body. Skeletal muscles normally contain one or two nucleus on them. They are also striated, which means they are striped. In addition to that, they are branched. This differs to smooth muscles, as they are uninuclei, meaning they only contain one nucleus per cell. They are fusiform, which means they are wider in the middle than they are at the ends. This differs as they are not striated like skeletal muscles. Finally, cardiac muscles have many nucleus on them. They are long and rod-like. They are similar to skeletal muscles as they are striated. Both smooth muscles and cardiac muscles are involuntary. This means we don't need to think about them. However, skeletal muscles is voluntary. This is because the brain tells them to move and contract. Skeletal muscles have a varied speed of contraction. They can either contract really fast to cause a sudden, powerful movement, or they can contract slow to cause a less powerful movement. Smooth muscles have very slow contraction speed. This differs to cardiac muscles as their contraction speed is only quite slow, but it's also arithmetic. The cardiac muscles won't fatigue. This is only if it has oxygen as it supplies it with energy. This is similar to smooth muscles as they also do not fatigue. However, skeletal muscles do fatigue. This is because they get their energy from aerobic respiration, and once all the oxygen is used up, there is no more energy for them to use up. Skeletal muscles are controlled from impulses sent by the brain. This is as the body sees something and then it reacts to what it sees. Smooth and cardiac muscles will just keep contracting whenever needed to.